when we opened in 2003, the developer at the time built the clubhouse and the golf course simultaneously, and that never used to happen in the golf club world. It used to be a golf course would open, and then several years downstream, the clubhouse would come online. But he had the courage, I suppose is the right word, to do it all at once. It was a pretty risky move, but he didn't hold anything back, that's for sure. So I always stop here, ask anyone if they want a drink. Can I get you a beverage? When we first opened, this was like a formal living room. There was a piano and couches in here. And like the formal living room in most people's homes, it got zero use. And so a couple years into operation, we moved the bar, which used to be in the middle of the dining room, converted this space, and it really changed the vibe in the clubhouse. This is definitely the place we come in after a round of golf to settle our bets and have a cocktail and what have you. One thing we like to say is it's not super stuffy around here. Really the only rule is men can't wear hats in the dining room. Other than that, we're not going to worry too much about dress code or some of those things that you find at other clubs. We're in North Idaho, and lake life is a big part of it, so we're well aware. It's a very nice facility, but a very casual environment. And then normally we would go out to the pool bar, and then I would come in downstairs down by the fitness center. There's people in here, and I have to give high fives and handshakes, and the owner usually sits right here, Cliff and Donna. We're not in full bloom right now, but you've got to imagine in the summer, the heater, in the cool evenings, the heater's on, the lights are on, the fire pits are raging. When we first opened, the pool bar didn't exist. And it wasn't until a few years into it that we realized we needed kind of this primary social hub. And this was just landscaping, and they built this open air four-sided pool bar, the TVs, the golf scoreboard. So this is definitely the hub of everything social around here. It's just where you want to be on the weekend. Friday night, there's live music. Saturday night, there'll be wine tastings. And of course, when you come off the 9th green on your way to the 10th tee, this is where you stop. And it's almost like you're a parade float going by with all the people waving and high-fiving. And you stop for snacks and drinks and carry on your round of golf. But it's really fun. And then this is the part of the tour that I always hate, because there's always people down here. And so I'll be coming down the stairs with strangers, and all eyes turn to whoever's coming down the stairs. And so then I have to stop here, and people give me shit and the whole thing. But a couple years ago, we decided that we needed an adults-only pool. So this is it's a heated saltwater pool, but it became the adult pool. And as you'll see in a minute when we go down to the new clubhouse, the view we call it, that's where the family pool is located now. Let me show you this. So as I was the first golf pro here, I was 28 years old. And one of the absolute coolest things I got to do as a golf pro, I almost said young golf pro, I think any golf pro would want to do it. I got to create and very intentionally think about establishing culture and creating tournaments that would stand the test of time. And we thought forever about what would we want our men's member guest tournament to be called, what would the theme be. And we came up with the Wyatt Earp, and not many people know that when Wyatt Earp left Tombstone, Arizona in the famous shootout, he retired to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho and became a marshal. And I actually got a hold of a foundry in Palm Springs, and we had this Wyatt Earp trophy made. This is an original. This was, what's the word? This was commissioned. You can see on the back of it here, this is actually an original. And it showed up one day, and I didn't really have any plans other than I'll put it in the locker room or whatever. And within minutes, the grounds crew was activated. This pillar was posted here. Wyatt Earp was positioned on it. Just that. Anything we wanted to do back when we were opening the club, it was really kind of a blank slate and an open checkbook, and we could just have fun to create. One of my favorite memories is that I got to come back as a member 20 years later after we created this. I got to come back and join the club, and I've actually won the Wyatt Earp. And the winners of the Wyatt Earp tournament get Colt 45 pistols. And that has become a thing out here that everybody's fighting like hell to win their gun. The flights in the Wyatt Earp tournament are pretty neat. So it's people in the club world would know the format. It's a match play by flight. So there's 6 teams per flight. You play a 9-hole match against each team in your flight. And the flights are all named after famous Western characters and gunfighters. So there's the Jesse James and the Billy the Kid and the Bat Masterson and so on. And that was a lot of fun finding those characters to name the flights after. One of them's Turkey Creek Jack, and I think everybody's favorite one is Liver Eatin' Johnson. And over the years, when your handicap stays relatively stable, you end up playing the same people year after year within those same flights. And like the Liver Eatin' Johnson guys know that they're going to be in Liver Eatin' Johnson flight again this year. And there's becomes like these real natural rivalries that have established over time. And that's what makes a good member guest tournament, is when the guests from all over the country get to know each other, the other guests, and they know when I go to Coeur d'Alene and I go to Black Rock this summer, I'm going to see that guy again and go to battle with him like we have year after year after year. I've yet to really be in this room for any reason other than giving a tour. The fitness center, they replaced all the equipment about a year ago. It was a little bit dated, so they had the good sense to replace everything. It gets a lot more use than I would have ever imagined. And then when we first opened, this was a hardwood floor spinning studio. And it's evolved into something different at this point. This might be my favorite room in the whole clubhouse down here, just because it reminds me of my roots. And you open this door and get that quick whiff of ozone from the car chargers. Having been here from the start, this place is just so personal to me. The things I got to do, that we got to do, opening a club from scratch, we were responsible for creating culture. And in those days, the golf industry was booming. It was kind of the downstream effect of Tiger Woods, but the private golf world was sort of exploding, and we had a real opportunity here to do something special, and it was one of the coolest times of my life. So welcome to the men's locker room here at Black Rock. In the club world, the locker room is a thing, and there's actually a ranking that just this year's version just came out, where Golf Digest will rank like the top 15 men's locker rooms in the country, and we're not on that list, but I gotta think we're pretty darn close to cracking that. When we first opened, I mentioned the pool bar earlier. All the men would hang out in here, and there was always, and there still is, plenty of cards and dice, but the men were all in here. There would be 50 guys in here, and the ladies were in the dining room, and there wasn't really that community social hub, and that's what the pool bar became, as it got some of the guys out of the locker room and down to the pool. Imagine when we're open for the summer, though, full bar and locker room staff, and there's always going to be a smear game or a gen game at this table, and someone's always shaking dice over here. Anyway, these locker rooms in the club world are a thing, and our big elk up there always gets a lot of attention. So a couple years ago, the swimming pool at the main clubhouse was getting very busy in the summer months. And if you've ever heard kids in a swimming pool, there's a lot of squealing and splashing and what have you. And that pool is located right by the pool bar, where everyone likes to socialize, and adjacent to the first tee box, where the serious golfers want to hit a shot with relative peace and quiet. And it just got really loud. So the notion of building another swimming pool took place. And that's how this facility started, the new View Clubhouse here at Black Rock. So it started under the heading of we need a kids pool, and so we can get the squealing kids away from the main clubhouse. But then it turned into, well, it would be nice if we could expand our pickleball facility as pickleball has taken off. And then it turned into, well, you know, we really do need a golf simulator for winter activity, and another banquet facility, and a more established area for kids camp. So this became essentially a catch-all for some of the things that the main clubhouse didn't have, and frankly weren't really that important in the club landscape in those days. And this has really filled that niche. And oh, by the way, it might have the most dramatic view of the lake anywhere in North Idaho. So before we look at that, this is what we call Camp Core. There's full-time counselors. And what this is if mom and dad or grandma and grandpa want to go play some golf or have dinner or go out on the boat without the kids, this is where kids can spend a day and be inundated with activity, whether it's outdoor kicking a ball or dedicated art projects, things of that nature. So you'll see what's happening here, but it's a very extensive summer activity program. And this room here also can double as a banquet facility. I know there's been a wedding or two in here. One thing that came of sort of a hole in our program when we first opened Black Rock was there was no grassy field anywhere for kids to go kick a ball or throw a frisbee, that sort of thing. And so that's we definitely needed just a lawn to let kids run around and be kids. When we first opened, the only place to do it was on the golf course. So in the afternoon, it wouldn't be unusual to see kids running around the golf course. And so we had to chase them off the course so that they weren't in harm's way from golf shots. And that's what this grassy field is for, is to let the kids blow off some steam. So there is a separate menu down here, more of a bistro style menu, more of a casual environment. Don't need a dinner reservation. I don't know what the limited or modified hours are, but to have both dining rooms and one is a little more, I hate to use the word formal because we're anything but formal around here, but maybe fancier fare. And down here, more like burgers and flatbread. We were talking earlier about how the club has changed over time and in some cases overnight. That same night we moved into the pro shop overnight, we were opening the range for play the following morning. The excitement had mounted and we were ready to open on the 4th of July in 2003, and our initial round of members, they were all in town, whether they had houses nearby or here on campus or were staying at the resort or whatever. And there was a lot of pressure to open the practice range a day or two early, and I was told by the owner I was not to let anyone play or hit a golf ball until we opened the golf course. And then late in the afternoon, the night before we opened, John Elway showed up, and he was a close friend of the owner. And he says, "Okay, Greg, go ahead and let John hit some range balls." And I thought, oh my gosh, you're going to get me in so much trouble. There's all these people that want to use the range. And so I made him hide down here in the corner to where I was hoping that nobody would see him. And in those days, he hit the ball so far. He hit a whole bucket of brand new Pro V range balls at $4 a pop, just out the back of the range into the forest, and lost them all. And I called the superintendent and I said, oh my gosh, we didn't build the range long enough. And wouldn't you know it, by the next morning, the grounds crew had worked all night and they had the bulldozers and the big tractors and trailers, and they extended the range by about 80 yards overnight. And so they had an overnighter as well, just like we did in the pro shop. Thanks for your time. As always, to learn more, click the link below.